This video is an excerpt from our weekly podcast. Go and watch the full podcast, check the link in the description of this video, or support us on Patreon at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming.
Anyway, I'm not going to waste my time on that. Let's just move on to Call of Duty cheaters and laugh at those pricks. It's just a semi-regular thing. If there's a cheating story where people are getting caught, then I'm going to talk about it and we're going to laugh at them because they're pathetic and they deserve it. So this is a new one for Call of Duty across Warzone and the other Call of Duties, I guess, because they're all, well, most of them are still active, but obviously no one plays any of them apart from the newest one, which is Cold War, Black Ops Cold War. So Call of Duty is a hotbed of cheaters, always has been, and probably always will be, but it actually seems like Activision are doing something about it. I mean, they could be doing more, in my eyes. I always think they could be doing more. I think cheating should be a zero-tolerance policy, but we'll get to that. So, in a blog post from April the 12th, which was on Monday, currently it's Thursday when we're recording, they said, "Cheaters are never welcome. To date, our security and enforcement team has issued more than 475,000 permabans in Call of Duty Warzone. Yesterday's large ban wave was our 7th high-volume set of bans since February. In addition, our security and enforcement teams also issue bans daily, 7 days a week, to individual offences or repeat offenders. The combination of daily bans plus large-scale ban waves are an integral focus of our efforts. We are also tackling the commercial market of cheat providers and resellers. This includes suspicious accounts which are farmed and often sold to repeat offenders. We recently banned 45,000 fraudulent black market accounts used by repeat offenders. Removing cheaters and taking away their ability to move to alternate accounts is a key focus for the security teams." Activision can't write anything without it sounding corporate and ridiculous. This is a key focus for our security teams. When I hear security and enforcement team, I'm picturing big guys in like black body armor with balaclavas and goggles and masks, but obviously it's cheaters, so it's digital. So, I mean, that just doesn't make sense. So what I'm imagining in my stupid brain is these big, tactical spec ops geezers hunched over their computers doing all the nerdy techie stuff that goes way over my head. Anyway, they're also upgrading the security. It's not really upgrading security, so to speak. It's more adding additional pains in the arse for cheaters. None of this will actually really stop it, but it's just going to make things a little bit more difficult. Utilizing two-factor authentication to make it harder to access new accounts simply to cheat, ramping up additional resources to support our security and enforcement teams, increasing frequency of high-volume ban waves in addition to our daily banning of repeat offending accounts, improving regular communications and updates. And they also put out along with this blog post, they linked to a report which they've collated based on their research, which basically says this is how some people are trying to do cheats. Be aware that this is kind of like a scam, but to get you into cheating type kind of thing, to hook you onto that. The reason I'm kind of talking about this a lot on top of, screw you cheaters, nearly 500,000 of you just got banned basically in one go, which is hugely impressive. Are they taking it seriously enough? It's always my kind of question. Hardware bans are a thing that happen, but for this case, they even say that it only applies to repeat or serial cheaters. So the quote is, "Some have asked if we issue hardware bans. We do issue hardware bans against repeat or serial cheaters. This is an important part of our effort to combat repeat offenders. This is an important part of our focus," or whatever they said before. As far as I'm concerned, if you're cheating, you should be hardware banned instantly. Maybe that's harsh. Yeah. Maybe that's a bit far. Some people will kind of accidentally or harmlessly end up doing it.
Naively.
Maybe they're a bit more innocent. I don't really believe that is the case, but maybe to be a bit of a devil's advocate. But I think if you're cheating in the game, you should be hardware banned instantly. That way you can't play the game on this system. You have to go out and buy a new PlayStation or a new Xbox or a new PC or whatever. That's the what I think they should do, but they're never going to do it because cheaters may be cheating, but they're also playing the game, bumping the numbers up, and chances are maybe even buying some microtransactions while they're at it. The only time cheaters become a problem is when they, well, for these companies anyway, for us they're always a problem, but the only time cheaters become a problem for the Activision, the game owner, the game creator, is if those cheaters then push away regular players who are also buying microtransactions. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. They're not going to outright ban anyone unless they actually believe that that's what's going to happen. They're going to keep them there. Like, you may be cheating, but you're still paying to play our game, so you can stay.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think the only time that it becomes a problem for them is when the community starts reacting to the fact that the cheaters are there, and whether that manifests in raising a stink on social media, whether that's an article in a news outlet, or whether that's people just straight up leaving the game, and they don't want that. However, like you said, they quite happily have the cheaters there playing, racking up play time and buying microtransactions or whatever, if they didn't have a negative effect on everybody else, they just put them in their own cheater server. I think, didn't Overwatch do that, where they just like all the cheaters who play together?
So that's a great way to do it, because I mean, if anything, that's a win-win for everyone, because they can keep them in the ecosystem and just stuff them all in one place. And I would love to watch that game though. Just put them all in there and let's see what happens. I've talked about it before. I'm certain we've spoken about it on this channel. I think there should be the Olympics and then like an advanced Olympics where you specifically go to try out performance enhancing stuff to see how far you can push people with give them like robot legs and jet boots and stuff. Do it here.
Yeah.
Have your Call of Duty esports league or whatever, where they do it all properly, legitimately. Then have a separate one to see how much they can push the tech and cheat people like shooting through walls. Everyone has the same base game, but then they can cheat it and mod it in the ways they like. I think that'd be a really entertaining way to do it. It would probably dissolve into chaos and the game would just outright crash, but it would be funny, and they're cheaters, so
fuck them. Yeah, I mean, there is the point that sometimes people get misdiagnosed, like I say, or misaccused of being cheaters. I think your zero tolerance policy would kind of piss a lot of people off. I mean, I know that there's always the people who are saying, well, I didn't cheat, or that you see them on Reddit or whatever, I didn't cheat, I got banned, and they're always complaining. I never know what to think. Maybe they are being honest and genuine, and they get mischaracterized as a cheater, or get misdiagnosed and just banned for not cheating in the first place. I kind of believe that could happen, because I've been banned off a website, PokerStars, right? I used to play poker all the time. I can't get access to my account anymore. I think it was hacked at one point, my account. Honestly, I'm not bullshitting, guys. I'm honest. I didn't cheat. I didn't hack. I didn't game assistant. No, but honestly, true. I think my account was hacked. I got it back, but then I just can't get onto PokerStars anymore. And that's the type of thing that can happen, is that accounts can be hacked. People can use cheats with them. You can see that this is a system that cheaters could get away with. All you got to do is hack someone else's account, cheat with their account, then you don't risk your own account being banned. Then that can happen, and then innocent people, their lives can be ruined. Let's be honest. I mean, not being able to play PokerStars anymore, my life isn't worth living.
I mean,
I know you got a zero tolerance policy, Henry, but how do you get around that? Tell me that, Henry.
I mean, you can always unban people. That's a thing that can happen.
Have you got the resources to review everyone's case who appeals though?
Well, no.
Have you got the resources there?
Well, not everyone, but if they're
come on, Activision.
Well, but they're I don't. But yeah, Activision are an enormous company.
Henry Activision Cooper. Now you're acting on behalf of Activision. What would you do in that situation?
Well, for starters, I'd set all of my developers free that I hold hostage and let them go and do their own things. Treyarch, does that one still exist? Sledgehammer, all them. Go make a good shooter that isn't just the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. But no, realistically, yeah, I mean, you can have people appeal, try to verify it, but I mean, if they're cheating, sometimes it's so obvious. Sometimes it's not so obvious. But the obvious ones, you've just got to get rid of them. Especially because a lot of them will be like kids. They're like, I just want to win the game. I just want to be better than my friends. I'll buy this cheat or whatever. A lot of them run on subscription, so I'll get that for a month. They're not going to be very good at hiding it. Just get rid of them. Sack them. I don't care if you're a child. I don't care if you're an 8-year-old man. If you're a cheater, I mean, I'm not playing Call of Duty anytime soon. This stuff does not affect me in the slightest. But just get rid of them. Linking back to my Outriders rant, I was sitting there seething at how annoying this connectivity issue was, and I was like, I hate online games. This is why I play single player. This is why I sit alone in my room or on the sofa or whatever, in front of the TV, playing games. I don't need to be connected online all the time. It's more problems than it's worth, at least in my opinion. But if we didn't have all these cheaters, life would be much better. I had a really bad experience with cheaters the other day. Well, not the other day, maybe like last month. I was playing Battlefront 2 on Epic Games Store because it was free. Oh, Epic Games Store. Yeah, whatever. It was free. What am I going to do? Not play it? It was probably my first experience with cheaters on PC. And I was like, why can't I hit this guy? I'm shooting him. I'm grenading him. But nothing was happening. And he's nailing me in one shot. And then towards the end, because the phase of the battle changed and we went up to the ship and there was a blast door and he was like on the other side of it still shooting us. There were like 3 of us trying to be like, there's a guy there, but like we tried shooting him, nothing was happening, but his blasts were coming through to us. Some of us died and we're like, all right, well, I guess we're not going down there again, we'll keep going. Eventually we lost, and that guy had more kills than everyone else. I think he did have like 2 deaths, so something was stopping him. He's not a total god. But then all in the chat was just like report. Even on his own team, we're just like, yeah, get rid of them. So I was like, they're everywhere. You can't escape them. So get fucking rid of them. Murder their dogs in front of them, but don't really just like pretend to, and then bring the dogs to like a safe place. And we'll keep them. You know.
Don't kill the dogs.
No. Don't really. We'll just play the mind games with them, and then send them on their merry way.
I'm with you in spirit, Henry. I mean, you've been pulling no punches this podcast so far.
It's very hot in here. I'm getting literally hot-headed.
I wouldn't go so far as pulling anybody's dogs or puppies into it, because you've got to be some level of cruel to bring in that type of punishment for what is essentially just cheating in a video game.
Well, if they cheat in a video game, just imagine what kind of prick they are in the real world. Something so meaningless. Something so, like, what do you gain by cheating in the video game? Nothing. If anything, you actually lose something because you're spending all this money on it. But imagine what kind of a bastard they are when they can actually gain something.
To me, it's like people who drive around with like really big exhausts or something, like making or you know what I mean? They're trying to compensate for something. It's the people who are like 4'5" tall who think that, you know, they need to go around being more powerful. It's like the Napoleon complex or whatever it is, even though Napoleon wasn't as small as people say he was. But it's like they're compensating for. You've got small cocks, essentially, haven't they? They're going around buying up these cheats to make out that they're actually proper men, and they're not.
If you've got a small penis, I'm sure there is a nice young lady out there, or young man, you know, whatever you like. They like that sort of thing. Accept what you got and stop ruining everyone else's fun.
Yeah, basically, if you're a cheater, you've got a micro penis, so deal with it.
And that's going on the headline.
Let's move on. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to go and watch the full podcast, head to the description of this video and you'll find a link to our new podcast channel, or head over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming and get early access.